Good morning. It's wonderful to have this opportunity to chat with you once again at the beginning of another week. It's Constitution Day here in the Cayman Islands. You know, it's always nice to have a holiday occasionally. But now, if my Cayman Island friends will indulge me for just a few moments, I'd like to give a short history lesson to my American friends who follow these posts. The British Empire claimed and established control over the Cayman Islands in the 1600s, but the islands had virtually no permanent population until the early 1700s. And the most significant settlement period came during the 1800s. But in 1863, the Cayman Islands were joined to the British colony of Jamaica. Finally, 7 years later, in 1959, a constitution of the British Virgin Islands was codified that self-rule versus British rule, and also gave the vote to women of the British Virgin Islands. And so now every first Monday of July is Constitution Day here in the Cayman Islands. It's a public holiday that commemorates the passing of the island's first constitution back in 1959. The date of adoption actually was July the 4th, but the day of the holiday is now movable, and so the first Monday of every July is Constitution Day. Just think, if it wasn't for those people back in the 1950s wanting their own dependency, we would be called Jamaica today. Great day in the island. But wasn't yesterday a great day as well? The Lord blessed so wonderfully as we discussed the committed life of Ruth in our Sunday school class. Thank you, Sister Juliana, for doing such a splendid job of teaching the lesson. We thoroughly enjoy your teaching. By the way, I should tell you that we have talented teachers, both at the Spot Bay Church and at the Watering Place Church. If you don't attend our Sunday school services, you should come to those. You would thoroughly enjoy them. And then come and stay for the following service, the worship service as well. In the morning service this past Sunday, yesterday, I preached at Watering Place, and then I preached at Spot Bay in the evening. The message for the day was from James chapter 1, verses 9 through 11, where James tells us what money can't buy. God richly blessed these services from the first prayer until the dismissal prayer. If you weren't there, you missed two tremendous worship services. I want to mention as well that it was a special day for Brother Dixon at Spot Bay. He turned 88 years old yesterday. Happy birthday, Brother Dixon, and God bless you with many more years as you serve the Lord. But yesterday was a special day for Brother Cecil Francis as well. He was released from the heavy burdens of this world and entered into the presence of Jesus, whom he loved and served so faithfully. We rejoice that he is now free from pain and enjoying the blessings of glory. And at the same time, our hearts are heavy for the friends and relatives who are feeling the pain of loss. We must pray for their strength during this time of grief. Brother Francis would urge us to carry on with God's work. We must do our best as we serve our risen Lord. Let me tell you what's coming this week. Tuesday, 7:15 p.m., we will be gathering at Spot Bay for the midweek service, and then Wednesday, 7:15 p.m., we'll be gathering at the Watering Place Church. In these services, I'll continue to talk to the people about how to be like Jesus. And this time we'll be talking about holiness. We serve a holy God who expects his people to be holy as he is holy. And next Sunday, I'll be preaching in the morning service at Spot Bay, and I'll be preaching from the book of Hosea on the subject of the faithfulness of the Lord. In the evening service, I'll be preaching at Watering Place, and we'll be looking at James chapter 1, verses 12 through 15, where James advises us about what to do when temptation has you by the throat. In these services, I'm going to begin a second series to go in tandem with a series on James. I'll be preaching through the minor prophets one book at a time. Have these minor prophets, these 12 books at the end of the Old Testament, ever been a puzzle to you? Do you wonder what they're about? Well, come to Spot Bay Sunday morning to hear the first message in this series from the prophet Hosea. In that message, he reminds us that God is truly faithful. You can count on him. When it seems like everybody else is failing you, don't give up. Don't give in, because God is beside you. He'll never leave you. He will never forsake you. This is a message you want to hear, so don't miss it. And have you ever had the devil so hard on your trail that you thought you were going to break down and sin? Has the temptation to do wrong ever pressed against your spirit so hard that you thought you couldn't bear it? What do you do when your back is against the wall and it seems like the devil has you by the throat, dangling, enticing things, forbidden things in front of you? Well, at Watering Place, we'll explore this subject, and this is a must-hear message also. I urge you to put this on your calendar. Be at either Spot Bay Church of God Holiness in the morning or Watering Place Church of God Holiness in the evening. Bring your friend along with you, and then you'll have someone to discuss the message with you as you go home. We have some great things planned for you throughout the month. The kids and teens will be especially interested to know that our Vacation Bible School this year will be July the 16th through the 20th from 6 until 8 each evening. It will be at the Watering Place Church this year. And on Friday evening of that week, we will conclude the final session with a special program for the parents. Parents, be sure to be there at 7:30 for that last hurrah of the Vacation Bible School. I know that you'll want to see your children performing, but you must be there at 7:30 because you might not get a seat if you don't. It will be packed. Well, that's a peek at the week and a little bit beyond. So we're looking forward to seeing you in our services at Spot Bay and Watering Place. Be sure to be there. And don't forget to invite your friends and relatives that don't go to church. Bring them with you. Have a great week. God bless you richly.